Okay, g'day. Yeah, I'm back on again. It's about the next second question that's been coming up about being selfish, not following rules and regulations, or not protesting, not saying something against it, accepting whatever has been told to us to follow. Yeah, because comes down to again, a lot of people are putting up with it because it's only the right thing to do. And as I mentioned, the 101-year-old going through two world wars and then been through the Jewish genocide and having survived all those things, never complained, but he lives to tell the story and what he's gone through and how could we be that selfish not to be able to put up with maybe a year of what's been going on, that you have to be following rules and whatnot. Okay, I've got an answer for that because this is how I see it. Okay, I'll say this to that same, if that man, I'm happy that he has lived to 101, it's great. But if he ever comes and says that to me, that he's been the greatest guy, has been putting through with up with all that, I would just say this to him. Have you heard of a man called, let me just have a look at it because I've got the name, Alberto Ciro, who was a prosthetic, he was a physiotherapist from Italy who, during the Afghan war, he joined Red Cross and went over to Afghan. And actually, during the war, he actually was in the middle of everything. And, people had their legs and arms blown up. He used to take them back to the base, hospital, and give them, the prosthetic legs or arms or whatever. He was right in the middle of things. Even though he was a very wealthy man in Italy, he could have been living a beautiful life with his, family, with his wife and children. He left by himself and went there only with the heart of wanting to help people. He didn't care about he was going to die. He wanted to help whoever is out there, okay? That man was courageous man. He wanted to make something different for this world and for lives on this planet. You know, and people like that inspire me. And we have a doctor, there are many people like that. Thousands you can Google and find. But I can tell you, we from our own country, we have we had a doctor by the name of Dr. Hollis, Fred Hollis, who again was a very well-to-do man. He was an eye surgeon, but he dedicated all his life going out back into the Aboriginal community and actually making Aboriginal people see, the blind people see. Okay, spent all his time out there, and that's all he did. And in the end, when he passed away, during his time, managed to start what do you call it, a charity, a thing called Hollows Foundation, which actually to this day they're in Africa and all these places and making people see. All right, so my thing to that gentleman would be, yeah, you feel like you did a great thing by staying there and protecting your life, just like a lot of the other people did. But there are other people who would have been out there looking for people who have got hit by the bomb that was coming down and making sure they are carried and they're cared for, okay? And doing so, they might have died. And that's what you call compassion. And what do you call it? It's called also power. It's strength. It's courage. And people do need to do that, because if there were people like that when Hitler went out in Germany, there were too many nice people didn't actually. When Hitler said, "Let's go and do this," a lot of the Germans followed, but not all of them followed. But these Nazis that went out with him and created so much trouble, the rest of the Germans sat there and wanted to help people, but they couldn't do anything. But had there been people like that have objected to that and fought against that government, that regime, if they had done something, maybe those things might not have happened. The World War might not have happened. The Jewish um, we call it, all this millions and millions of Jew people may not have died if someone had stopped Jew. There were people who were trying, right? They tried and they died, but they are the heroes as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so when something bad happens, I think if you know it's bad and you feel it and you got to act against it, just like the Black Lives Matter. I will come into that another time, but it matters. Of course, it does. So, same way, if we are protesting against that, similarly, we have all the right reasons to protest against something else that we don't feel right about it as well, because it's for the common good. And if you feel that it's not about yourself, right? Because as an old man, I'm going to be 67 years old. I don't have to worry about my future and my life. When I look at it, it's not about me because I'm okay in Queensland. I don't have to wear mask or anything like that. I can go out because if it comes any closer, I'll go further. I'll just go into the bush, mate. I don't have to be even anywhere near the city, anywhere near the people. I can just get lost right in the thick of forest and I don't have to worry about anything and I can live like that, right? But end of the day, what some of us are doing is we want to make sure the future generation and the young people are not going to suffer because of the atrocities being committed by some of the governments and the rules they've been bringing in. Because I have seen people going without money and jobs and all that more so than people have died in their families. And that would be the case because when somebody says, everyone should know that someone dying in a family, that percentage tells me, like, seriously, the numbers, how many people in each family would have died? 0.0000222 or something percent. I'm sorry, I think it sounds absolutely horrible. We are for the people and for the right reason, but the older people are dying in care homes because they every day wake up and they say, we wish we hadn't been woken up, we hadn't woken up alive. That's what I see in TV, that people, when the older people are interviewed, that's what they're talking about. I wish I hadn't woken up tomorrow because it's not a world that I want to live in. These are the people who are in care homes in their 70s and 80s are going through. Yes, there's a small number of people who have, young people have died. Yes, people die. Sadly, if you're not well, anything can get you, okay? Because people have died of flus as well. People have, there are people who have been just told that they died of COVID and they've had seizures. It's been proven, like in our country anyway, lots of people, lots of cases have been proven to be, there were people who had very bad illnesses beforehand and they got the COVID and they died and put down to COVID-19. But, forgetting all that, those numbers are small, but where you can help is the people who are actually dying because suddenly they've got nothing for themselves and they are completely shattered and they lost their way and they're committing suicide and they're beating up on their women. And there's been so many, cases where they've killed their partners and things like that. That's where I think we can help people, right? Yeah, sure, be cautious. If you want to wear a mask, if you're just really someone who thinks that you can get it and it's going to hurt you, wear your mask. Because end of the day, what you're saying is if somebody coughs and those, you know, droplets or whatever is going to come at you is what protecting you by wearing the mask. If you are wearing it, that same thing, the droplets can't come at you. So wear it, and that's no problem with that, But let's be more sensible, not drag this on and end up actually causing more trouble than the good that you are doing. And that's what we are talking about. So the people who want to stay in the house, it's fine. but don't tell the other people who has to go to work and who has to do certain things to survive in this world. Because what if vaccinations don't work out? What if nothing can happen? What, 2, 3, 4 years, 10 years? What are you going to do about it? Things have come and gone. I think we can build an immune system. Some of us already have it. In fact, now over 99% have got some way of surviving from this illness, right? So, yeah, let's run with that. Keep positive and look after yourself, and don't take illness on board, and don't wear it. Don't think that you're going to get it and you should be fine. That's my belief. I'm sorry, whatever you think is fine. But end of the day, I just wanted to be honest and let you know, if I made any enemy through that, that's fine. But I have to be honest with myself, and I can't hold it any longer. Okay, so best wishes to you, and catch you next time. Bye. All the best.